Hola a todos y bienvenidos a mi canal. So in today's video, I will be teaching you about el gerundio, or the present progressive in Spanish. So this is a very common topic, often taught in beginner Spanish classes. El gerundio in English is kind of like the ing ending of verbs. So how to say I am running, I am doing something, I am eating. So I will be teaching you how to say that in Spanish. As always, please comment and like this video and let me know anything that you would like to learn in Spanish in the future. So, para la lección de hoy, empezamos con un video para que puedas aprender y darse cuenta de cómo se conjuga el gerundio en español. So, today we will start with a quick video so that you can get a sense of how the gerund, or the present progressive, is used in a real life context, and maybe notice anything about how to conjugate it on your own. After, we will go through the explicit grammar instruction, so el repaso y la explicación. After that, I have a practice for you, so we will go over the practice questions and then the answers together. So, if you want to learn the present progressive in Spanish, keep on watching. Entonces, empezamos con la lección. Entonces, lo que tienes que hacer. Primero, mira el video. Número 2, escucha para los verbos comer, caminar, y salir. Okay? So I want you to listen during this video for how I conjugate the verbs comer, caminar, y salir. Tercero, ¿te das cuenta de algo con la conjugación? So as you're listening for these verbs, I want you to make a mental note of anything you're noticing in the way that the verbs are conjugated. All right? Entonces, empezamos con el video. Adiós, estoy saliendo. Estoy comiendo un totopo. Ahora estoy caminando con Otto. Ahora que has visto el video, empezamos con el repaso y la explicación. So, what did you notice as you were watching? Okay, so the gerund in Spanish is the present progressive in English. So in English, we could say I am running. In Spanish, it would be estoy corriendo. Okay, so what are you noticing about how these words are conjugated? We are eating, estamos comiendo. They are listening, están escuchando. So in English, all the gerunds end in ing. In Spanish, on the other hand, they are ending in yendo or ando. Okay? So basically, the gerund in Spanish, how to conjugate it, is you need to change the verbs and add either ando or yendo. So I'll tell you how to do that now. So to create a sentence using the gerund, it's like in English. There's two parts. There is I am, so estar, and then el gerundio. So that's like the ing ending of the verb. So the first thing you need to do if you want to create a sentence is conjugate el verbo estar. So in Spanish, we do not use el verbo ser. Okay? If you recall, el verbo ser is used for permanent, in permanent context. However, estar is for temporary. Okay? So doing an action in the present progressive. So to say I am running, I am eating, I am singing. Those are all temporary actions. So you need to use estar. Okay? So let's use he is eating as an example. So he is a third person. So we would say él está. Okay? Third person estar is está, él está. Okay, so after we have that is our he is. We need to go to step number 2, which is to determine the correct gerund ending for your verb. So as you saw before, there are only 2 endings. We have ando and yendo. So in Spanish, there are 3 types of verbs. For AR verbs, like cantar, for example, the gerund ending you use will be ando. So as you can see here, cantar in the gerund is cantando. Okay? For ER or IR verbs, it's yendo. Okay? So it's IENDO. So we have vivir would be viviendo, beber, bebiendo. Okay? So you can see that these two here ended in IR and ER, so their ending would be yendo. If it's an AR verb, it's ando. Okay, so how do we, turn a verb into the gerund? So you need to keep the stem of the verb, and then replace the ending with the gerund. So the stem in el verbo comer, which is to eat, is com, and the ending is obviously the er. So to do this, we x out of the er, and we replace it with the yendo, turning it into comiendo, and that is our gerund. Okay, so now I have my sentence. Él está, he is. I need my eating, which is comiendo. So I plug that in, and I have él está comiendo. So he is eating. Okay, so let's go over some more examples of how I turned a verb into the gerund. So these are all irregular verbs, by the way. So ejemplos del gerundio. So we have comer, it turned into comiendo. Okay, it's an ER verb. That means I have to add the IENDO ending, comiendo. Cantar, cantando. Escuchar, escuchando. Okay, those are the ANDO endings. So also just to recap, here, escuchar would mean to listen. Escuchando is listening. So the ando and the yendo are the ing endings. Okay, conducir, to drive, conduciendo, bailar, bailando, salir, saliendo. Okay, so that's kind of how you change the verbs. Again, I'm Xing out the IR and I'm replacing it directly with the yendo. So these are how regular verbs work. Of course, in Spanish, there are also irregular verbs. So let's go through those quickly as well. Okay, so something about irregulars in Spanish is that this is something that you will just have to memorize if you want to be able to speak Spanish, because there's not really a rule as to which verbs would have to be irregular. But there's not too many, and as you learn Spanish, it will get a lot more simple to recognize these regular verbs. So we have ir goes to yendo, so estoy yendo. Verbs that end in two consecutive vowels, so leer is ER. So instead of adding the I ending, they want you to add the Y. So it would be leyendo. So están leyendo, they are reading. Creer, to believe, creyendo. Creer is to believe, oír is to hear, oyendo, caer, to fall, cayendo. Okay, so falling. Then we have our stem changer verbs. So decir, to say, diciendo, so saying, dormir, durmiendo, sleeping, morir, muriendo, dying, pedir, asking, pidiendo is asking, sentir, sintiendo, feeling, vestir, vistiendo, getting dressed, mentir, mintiendo, which is lying. Okay, so again, all the verbs on this side right here are the ing endings. These are just the infinitive forms of the verbs. Okay, so ahora que sabes esto, vamos a hacer un poco de práctica. So now let's move on to some practice. Okay, I'm going to do the first one with you again. So, traduce las frases, translate the sentences. So we have the first one, they are singing. So I gave you the verb here, so you just have to add the gerund, so the ando or the yendo. So first step, we have they are, and we need to change estar into the they are form. So that would be están. So están. Then we have cantando. I need to X out the AR at the end. It's an AR verb, meaning I need to add the ando. So I plug ando in and I get cantando. Okay? So están cantando, they are singing. So I want you to do the rest of the questions. This one here, number 3, is you in the plural form. The ones with the stars are the irregular verbs that we just talked about. So you can go back in the video if you don't remember how to conjugate them. So pause the video now, and then after we'll go over las respuestas. Bueno, entonces las respuestas. So we have they are singing. So están cantando. We are playing. So estamos jugando. Okay, AR verb. So it needs to be ando. Okay, estamos jugando. You plural are dancing. So in Spain it would be estáis bailando. in Latin America, ustedes están bailando. Okay, we have están and then ando. I am saying, so this is a stem changer. So we have estoy diciendo. Okay, so instead of the E, okay, it changes to the I, and then it's just the IENDO ending. So estoy diciendo. Number 5, we have the 2 consecutive vowels. So we need to change we need to add in the Y. So está leyendo. So she is reading. And then he is living. Vivir is a regular verb. Está viviendo. Okay, IR. So yendo. All right. So this was the video. Something else that I've noticed a lot of students make a mistake on is when they're trying to express this, they like to put in 2 present tense verbs together. So for this one, what sometimes students will do is they'll say están cantan. So like they sing. So that is not correct in Spanish. If you want to express like you are doing something, you need to have the ando at the end, okay? So están cantando, okay? So, espero que has disfrutado este video y let me know if you want to see anything else down below y nos vemos en el próximo. Adiós.